You see the advertisements all the time. A brand new 2026 vehicle, yours to drive away for under $200 a month with absolutely zero money down. It sounds like a way to drive a brand new car on a used car budget. In reality, these offers often function as a marketing hook to bring you into the showroom. There is a gap between the bold, heavily marketed headline you see on television and the restrictive, binding reality of the actual dealership contract. In the leasing industry, the term zero down does not mean you pay nothing out of pocket. It specifically refers to a zero capitalized cost reduction. You aren't making a traditional payment to lower the core price of the vehicle, but you are still responsible for the transaction costs. Signing a contract based strictly on that $200 monthly headline, without translating the dealership terminology, can lead to paying significantly more than the vehicle's actual market value. This comparison table breaks down exactly what happens when you try to claim one of these offers. We start with the advertised promise. On the left, we have the ideal scenario, a $200 monthly payment and no traditional down payment required. Now we look at the actual costs at the signing desk. Immediately, you owe the first month's payment. Next come the administrative costs. The finance company charges an acquisition fee to originate the lease, and the dealership adds documentation fees to process your paperwork. Finally, you must cover state taxes and vehicle registration. These mandatory costs often result in a true out-of-pocket expense exceeding $1,500 at the time of signing. The dealer meets the zero down criteria by moving the upfront financial burden into these administrative fees, leaving the driver to provide substantial cash to drive the car off the lot. Beyond the fees, these promotions apply to very specific physical inventory. Automakers use these lease incentives to move units that are occupying space on the lot. Requesting the lowest advertised manufacturer incentive limits your ability to select features or colors. You are generally restricted to entry-level compact sedans, slow-selling models nearing a redesign, or electric vehicles receiving government subsidies. To secure the deal on these specific cars, you must have a credit score of 700 or higher. Without Tier 1 credit, the dealer may approve the lease but increase the money factor, the interest rate, which pushes the monthly payment well above the $200 target. The $200 lease functions as a restricted offer for high credit profiles willing to accept limited vehicle choices. Once you sit down to finalize the paperwork, the focus often shifts to the monthly payment during negotiations. A buyer might use all their leverage to force that single number down to exactly $200. If the dealership agrees to that figure, the buyer often assumes they have secured a favorable deal. This balancing equation shows how a dealer can meet that monthly goal. As the payment on the left shrinks, the dealer recoups their profit by extending the length of the lease or increasing back-end disposition fees and dealer-installed accessories on the right. Prioritizing a lower monthly payment while ignoring the total lease cost can result in a higher financial burden over the life of the contract. The true cost of a discounted lease often appears at the end of the contract when the vehicle is returned. To reach the lowest possible payment, these contracts typically include a restrictive mileage limit of 10,000 miles per year. For the duration of the lease, the driver maintains a lower monthly cash flow. However, this requires rigid driving habits. If a commute changes or an unexpected trip occurs, the driver faces per-mile penalties that accumulate quickly. Additionally, any wear and tear that exceeds the dealership's normal use guidelines results in repair charges billed directly to the driver at the end of the term. These strict covenants can turn an affordable monthly budget into a significant financial liability on the day the car is returned. There is one final, unavoidable monthly cost that exists completely outside of the dealership's initial quote when calculating your true expenses. Many drivers choose to lease specifically to avoid the mechanical risks and maintenance costs of an older vehicle. A new lease provides full warranty coverage, which eliminates out-of-pocket repair bills. But because the finance company owns the asset, they legally require the driver to carry high-limit comprehensive and collision insurance. For many drivers, this mandated coverage can add $100 or more to their monthly insurance premium, offsetting the savings of the lease payment. Calculating a lease's affordability without the localized insurance premium leaves a significant gap in a monthly budget. This decision flowchart identifies who the $200 lease actually serves. Drivers with long commutes, unpredictable mileage, or credit scores below 700 face higher interest and potential penalties that outweigh the low monthly payment. For those who need maximum utility and flexibility, purchasing a reliable used vehicle provides more long-term value than a restrictive lease. The ideal candidate has a short, predictable commute, high credit, and no need to customize the vehicle. For drivers who prioritize warranty coverage and predictable monthly cash flow over building vehicle equity, these incentives provide a way to access new inventory without a large upfront capital investment. If you meet those criteria, follow this checklist before visiting a dealership. Step 1. Verify your credit score and research specific manufacturer incentives targeting entry-level trims. Step 2. Obtain insurance quotes using the exact vehicle identification number, or VIN, to determine the true carrying cost of the lease. Step 3. Demand written quotes from multiple dealers that break down the total lease cost and avoid negotiating solely on the monthly payment. An effective lease deal is one that is mathematically engineered to fit your total budget and daily driving requirements.